Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a double header of NBZ's Pokemon battles from over a decade ago. I've decided to stitch two battles together to give me a bit longer to talk about the topic we were on last time, which was parasocial relationships, and particularly mine and NBZ's. But before that, I wanted to do two items of business. One is NBZ raised that the screen was too zoomed in, the aspect ratio was all skewy. I have managed to fix it. For the first time, probably, Sanjit Industries has managed to make a small technical fix to a video. This is something that will need to continue if we are to become any kind of proper YouTuber in the future. So there you go, a small step, a small advancement for Sanjit Kind. Secondly, my second order of business is to just say a really heartfelt thank you to all of you for watching this, for commenting on this. It's been really nice to see, really wholesome to see, like a lot of the old names that I recognize coming in my subscriber bell thing, my notification bell. That's where it is. Again, need to improve my YouTube terminology, but it's been really nice to see those names coming through that I recognize. Horizontal, YouTube user Horizontal has begun a rewatch of NBZ's Pokemon Adventure, the MS Paint series I did on this channel many moons ago. I wish you really well on that endeavor, Harry. I hope it still holds up, and I hope you find it funny. I don't think I can watch it. I think I'd find it too cringe as like the creator of it, but I did put some effort into that through the medium of MS Paint back in the day, so I hope you enjoy it. Right, let's move right along to the parasocial relationships. I thought for a bit about how to talk about this topic because I could talk about it generally, and I do have some thoughts generally on sort of the interaction between YouTuber and audience. But I don't know if I've done this or not, so forgive me if I'm repeating myself. I'm going to tell the history of my channel because it suddenly struck me that downloading NBZ's videos from over 10 years ago and re-narrating them in 2024 is quite an odd thing to do. And yet, it feels quite organic and natural, and I think that comes from the history of my channel. So, I had a quick look back at when I first uploaded, and I first uploaded in sort of the spring of 2011. And I was a fan of NBZ, certainly some point in 2008, maybe earlier. And that's like 2 or 3 years have passed before I sort of commented on NBZ's videos. I didn't have a different account before Sanjit. I probably did have an account to like watch YouTube, um, but I never really used the subscription feature on YouTube. I just literally made NBZ's channel a link from my sort of home internet page. So every time I went to YouTube, I went via MBZ's channel. That's how I stayed up to date on his videos. So I was a bit of a super fan, but I never interacted, never liked the videos, probably never commented on the videos. Was just a silent fan watching and appreciating and enjoying the ride. And I guess there was something about NBZ that kind of drew me in a little bit. He was British. I'm British too. Uh, of course, that means there's similarities between us, is what I want to say. That means we've both probably gone through similar schooling experiences. We've probably both on a Friday evening watched The Simpsons doubleheader and Robot Wars and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was BBC on Fridays. We've probably had lots of those. We've probably both been to like Cubs or Scouts or whatever. I mean, I left very early. I left after Beavers, but that's a different story. Yeah, we've probably both been exposed to the same kind of things growing up in a similar-ish kind of place as MBZ takes the first game 2-0. And I think that drew me in, as well as obviously his love for Pokemon and his sort of strategy around it. And I felt like I was getting to know him quite a bit, like in the small interactions. You learn what irritates the guy, you learn what he finds funny. So by the time when MBZ did the contest, like make him laugh, leave a video response that would make him laugh, and that's sort of what instigated the birth of the Sanjit channel. I was very nervous about uploading that video. I was sort of like my heart very tight on like how that video would be received, but I was quietly confident that when NBZ watched it, that he would find it funny because I felt like I knew him a little bit. I do think it's possible to get to know someone through the content that they're putting out. Of course, you don't know them fully, and of course, the other thing you have to bear in mind is that your social relationship with that person is at zero. It's been a one-way street. I think part of the joy of YouTube is finding people who resonate with you and getting to know them a little bit, but you have to remember you're on a one-way street. Then you won't crash. I don't think I mean, there's so much. I was gonna say the statement. I don't think I was ever an obsessive NBZ fan, and I know how kind of ridiculous that sounds, but I think a lot of what the obsessive things that I've done. I think I once made an Excel spreadsheet of every win or loss that NBZ had in a Wi-Fi battle. When he announced that he was going to no longer battle, I wanted to calculate some stats. So I went through once upon a time and made an Excel spreadsheet of the wins and losses of his channel. That's an incredibly obsessive, detailed thing to do. However, my channel was an NBZ tribute channel, if you like, and I need to talk more about why that is. So why didn't I create a channel before that? Why didn't I create my own thing before 2011? Why was it this make NBZ laugh thing that really drew something out? There's a number of factors at play in that. When I was in school, like pre 2011, I was at uni in 2011, but before that, more or less in school. Uh, I I wouldn't have had the privacy in order to upload videos, and my parents wouldn't have approved of me interacting with YouTube and uploading my own videos and filming my own videos, especially sort of Pokemon content. It's kind of I don't want to go too much into their parenting style. I love them both dearly, but they wouldn't have had that. And they'd have heard me talking to myself in my room, and they'd be like, "What's going on? You're talking into a microphone. What is this?" So it just wouldn't have happened. And so then in around 2011, I got a bit more privacy. I was home alone a lot more because uni gave me much fewer contact hours than school did. And I was able to do things like that. And so that challenge kind of hit at the right time to really draw myself out. The other thing that I've said before is I had no confidence in myself, like at all, none. And the idea, like NBZ had created the character of Sanjit in some of his videos, and the idea that I could kind of put on that mask and play a character rather than being myself was very appealing, and it was another thing that sort of got me out of my shell and got me to upload a video. And then that video was well received by that community, so of course I want to serve that community more and create more things that I thought would make NBZ laugh and other people in that community laugh. And that was the whole motivating point of the Sanjit channel. So then a lot of my content becomes incredibly in depth in terms of like NBZ focus. And I probably overstepped the parasocial mark a couple of times, probably a little bit too obsessive occasionally, but it never really felt that way to me. NBZ may feel differently and is fully entitled to do so. Because after I started re-uploading these videos, sorry, we've gone to black screen. You'll have to bear with me for like a minute because I should have done 3 battles, it turns out. I'll try and wrap up. But yeah, like since I've been uploading these, I texted MBZ to let him know I was doing it, and I then sent him a. I changed the banner picture on my channel to one where I think MBZ was eating cereal and looked kind of displeased, which I feel is the perfect banner for the Sanjit channel. Like, oh my god, what's this crazy guy done now? And I think he's kind of like, yeah, you still got those on your computer, don't you? That's weird. And yeah, I sent him like a picture of my screen with like various NBZ things that I saved from years ago that I still have in like folder, like in a very deep folder structure in my laptop. Uh, and yeah, he's like, yeah, realize if I end up dead, the police are gonna think that it's you. And I'm like, my response was like, well, I hope if it gets on BBC News that they put the Star Wars Episode 1 poster I remocked up, replacing Darth Maul and Qui-Gon's face with yours, like everyone's face, R2-D2, C-3PO's, everyone's an MBZ. These things are incredibly weird, but to me they're not that weird because the channel the channel I made by accident because it sort of fell at the right time and because I could play a character became my creative outlet on YouTube, and it was all to do with MBZ. So of course, there's going to be a lot of MBZ deep cuts, because I mean, what? How could the Sanjit channel have grown without MBZ? It's literally a character that he created it's I'm not Indian, which the Apu moment has made it. It's a problematic thing to do. I didn't feel it at the time because it was kids being kids, um, and I'm still okay with occasionally bringing the character of Sanjeet back because I don't want to kill him off. But there you go. What more is there to say? Like, it seems very odd, but it's like that Sanjeet channel couldn't have really grown anywhere other than taking the piss out of MBZ, which is what it continues to do. And that's why it feels very organic to pick up these videos from his channel and re-narrate them in 2024 as a low energy thing to do that is hopefully entertaining. I mean, me talking into the void, probably less entertaining, even though I paid absolutely no attention to the battles on that one. So, I think that's about it on parasocial relationships. You got to be careful of parasocial relationships. You never really know someone, but it is possible to get to know someone a little bit. But you got to remember you're on a one-way street. That's all I got to say. If you have any more questions, please do fire them off. I think someone asked about the sort of the Pokemon community of that time, and I'll talk more about my role in that. It's probably smaller than you might think. But I got some thoughts, so I'll do that next. But if you got anything else, just let me know in the comments. I've talked for too long, so I'll see you next time. Bye bye.